I get a lot of questions about replacing a catalytic converter on a Dodge Charger, and let me tell you, it's not even remotely glamorous. But if you're dealing with sluggish acceleration, rattling noises, or a check engine light that just won't quit, you're probably in the right place. Most people put this off, partly because it can cost between $1,000 and $2,500 at a shop. That's not a typo. People get sticker shock, even though a clogged or busted cat will choke your horsepower, send your emissions through the roof, and pretty much kill your fuel economy. The pain point, universally, is that this job sits in that tricky place. It's too expensive to pay someone else, but unnerving if you've never wrenched under a car. You'll need a jack, decent mechanics tools, and some stubborn determination, because these bolts are usually rusted on for dear life. Let's break the steps down so it's less mysterious. First, you need to get the car safely lifted. I mean, actually safe. No crawling under something balanced on a Walmart scissor jack. Use real jack stands, because nothing ruins your day like a Dodge Charger falling on your rib cage. The next step is to locate the catalytic converter. It's that weird metal pickle-shaped thing right before your muffler in the exhaust line. On the Charger, it might be tucked up tighter than your high school jeans, so get a flashlight and possibly a breaker bar. Before you remove anything, I always soak the mounting bolts in penetrating oil. WD-40 or PB Blaster, let it marinate for half an hour. I've snapped more bolts than I'd like to admit by rushing this. Learn from my tragedies, not your own. Unplug the oxygen sensors. Dodge Chargers typically have one on each side of the cat. You'll want a special O2 sensor socket if you want to keep your knuckles intact, but it's technically possible with patience and the vocabulary of a sailor. Then it's just fighting the bolts off. Rust and heat turn them into creatures of legend. I've used breaker bars, pipe extensions, even an impact gun once when I was feeling ambitious. If one just will not budge, heat it with a torch, safely, and try again. Drop the old cat. This is the moment you realize how heavy and awkward these things are for their size, and you'll wish you did more arm day. Slide the old unit out, check the gaskets, and make sure nothing fell into the exhaust system. It happens, trust me. Line up the new catalytic converter. Fitment is everything here. If you cheap out and buy the lowest bidder part online, you may need to persuade the exhaust pipes, which usually leads to utter blinding frustration. Stick to reputable brands and double-check the part number. Bolt it in, reconnect your O2 sensors, and torque everything down to manufacturer spec. Good time to have a torque wrench. Those gaskets should be fresh, or you'll get exhaust leaks that sound like a lawnmower trying to whisper. The last step is lowering the car and clearing any error codes with an OBD2 scanner. If the check engine light comes back, double-check those O2 plugs and the fit of the cat. 9 out of 10 times it's a missed sensor connection or a sneaky exhaust leak. My biggest pro tip, take your time and watch your knuckles. Rushed jobs mean snapped bolts and bruised egos. Doing it yourself saves easily over $1,000, and honestly, once you finish, you'll feel like you beat a mini-boss in the game of adulthood.